So I want to share with you about the book Idiot, written by Fyodor Dostoevsky, particularly on the last part, part 4. So firstly, I'm gonna run through the whole main plots, main events in the part 4, and then I may give off some of my opinions on particular events. So the storyline goes from the General Ipanchin. General Ipanchin is the father figure in the Ipanchin family. He's irritated, he's mentally unstable, confused. His indignation with all the things surrounding him, and he had some argument with his son because of his bad mouthing around and causing some embarrassing scenes for his family. The story goes to lost money from Lebedev. So the person Lebedev lost his pocket book, which is having some money with it, and people were suspecting it's stolen by General Ipanchin. But all the symptoms showing it's not plausible it's stolen by General Ipanchin because of his character, his mental state. So story goes to the conversation and interaction between General and Ipanchin. Ipanchin is also called Prince, the main character of the whole novel. So the conversation between General and Ipanchin played out that General told Ipanchin the Prince a story about Napoleon invaded Russia, and he was a kid around 10 years old, and he met in that story he said that he met Napoleon, and he was impressed by Napoleon, by his sincerity and honesty, and he's proud of it. After Napoleon was retreated from Russia, he was left alone. That this is the story was told by General Ipanchin. But the novel describes everybody's, constructing their own stories about some historical events, and could be true, also possibly could be false. That is told by General Ipanchin. So the story then goes to the love between Aglaya and Ipanchin, the prince. So the prince and Aglaya, who is the daughter of General Ipanchin family, had expressed each other's love, and came to a conclusion they will get married. And then the story goes, the General Ipanchin family hosted a gathering with the close family members who are the upper class aristocracy in Russia. The story depicts that the Ipanchin, the Mishkin, the prince, made some stupid, rather careless address and behavior and actions during the gathering with Ipanchin's close family members. The Mishkin, the prince, criticized the autocratic upper class people, and also criticized the whole Russian political system as in whole. And got some and his advocating words got some disproving or not that much tension effect on the close relatives members in that meeting. Then, regardless the warning, the words from Aglaya, who told Mishkin the prince before the meeting that leave that China vase away, don't come near it, close it, because possibly the Mishkin the prince is going to break the China vase. Regardless the warning from Aglaya, who is going to marry Mishkin the prince. Mishkin the prince didn't take it into his mind anyway, and worst, he still broke the China vase. So after the meeting, after the family relative gathering of General Mishkin family, the family felt humiliated by Mishkin the prince because of his audacious words and careless behavior, particularly by breaking the China vase. There's another important notion after Mishkin the prince broke the vase. He was fainted by the epilepsy, the fit, and was taken away to his room. Got healed for a while, but generally speaking, after the meeting with Ipanchin's relative members, he was despised by all the people, and they are keeping a distance with Mishkin the prince. That led to the broken up with Aglaya. So they were planned to get married after the family gathering, but after the family gathering, they were on the line of broken up. So still not yet broken up. So there's another thing that Aglaya took Mishkin the prince after he got well from that epilepsy fit to a girl who's called Nastasia Filipovna, who got acquainted with Mishkin the prince previously, and who Nastasia Filipovna, who also has a love feeling towards Mishkin. So during that meeting, Aglaya argued with Nastasia Filipovna about who Mishkin the prince loves, to the point that they had argument between them, and Aglaya left that meeting with resentment. So Mishkin stayed with Nastasia Filipovna. Basically, that's the broken up point with Aglaya, between Aglaya and Mishkin the prince. For whatever reason, the story turns to wedding arrangement between Michigan the prince and Nastasia Filipovna. So the wedding was arranged on a specific day. During the wedding, Nastasia Filipovna drove a was carried by a cart to the church. So at the moment the carriage was opened, Nastasia Filipovna became out of control emotionally, and running towards to Rogozin, and told Rogozin that she's not going to marry with Michigan the prince, and she wants to run away from him, run away from Rogozin. So Rogozin took Nastasia Filipovna at that moment to a train station, and run away from everybody else from that wedding. After seeing the scene by Michigan the prince, he was quite timid, not that shocked or angry, quite calm, as the story described. And after a day or two, Michigan the prince started to find out where Nastasia Filipovna went after that wedding day. He tried to go to Rogozin's living place, and knocked at the door and asked the servant where is Rogozin. After a back and forth searching, Rogozin came to Michigan the prince, and took Michigan to his place secretly, because they did something horrible. So Rogozin took Michigan to his room, and tried to not be visible from his servants and from his parents. In that room, in that night, Nastasia Filipovna was laying in bed. As the story goes, it turns out Nastasia Filipovna was dead, and was stabbed by Rogozin on her into her chest, and covered with blanket. And Rogozin told Michigan that don't, let's. They had a talk together, and Rogozin told Michigan that let's go to sleep. They took some cushions from the sofa, lay on the floor. Both of them were laying down to go to sleep. And Rogozin started to cry, to shed some tears. From the beginning, they were cautious of making some noises. To the later, they actually didn't care to raise up their voices. And Rogozin shed some tears. Michigan was in a role that trying to comfort Rogozin, even pat his head, his, patting his face and head, like Rogozin's his son, his baby. Eventually, people figured out they were in the room, and figured out Rogozin the murdering scene, and the story goes to Rogozin was sent to the prison, and Mishkin was sent to the Switzerland to that doctor, because Mishkin the prince got another epilepsy, mental illness. So the story ends there. My view on this first part of the novel, it's I feel like it's all the storylines are quite messy and not making too much close connections. It happens so dramatic, and it happens like unpredictable. To me, it's a bit it's a menace. To me, it's a menace on this part. There's also a mention about Mishkin the prince, Mishkin the prince's speech during the meeting, during the gathering of Nepalese family's relatives. There were some points he articulated in that gathering. I could have read it, if one more time, if not a couple times more, to analyze what is the real meaning, within that story. But for the storylines of the part 4 and all the connections among those storylines, I would say it's quite dramatic, unpredictable, even turned me a little bit off, to be honest. because it's not, to me it's some parts are not making that much sense, not that interesting enough. So that's my point of views and ideas about the last part 4 of the book Idiot. Let me know if you have your own ideas on the last part of the book, and I would like to see how do you think about it.